What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Strike the Blood episode 17. And this episode, it was pretty freaking awesome. We got to see some new characters and we saw some old characters come back and it just did work. So the episode starts off with Aya, who we all know is the witch of Notaria. And she's visited by these two librarians. And of course they actually want her to come with them because they want to get back this Dark Oath Grimoire. But we actually learned that this grimoire, it was actually destroyed. But we learned that she can still use her powers, as we saw her when she said that this grimoire that they came here for, it was already devouring them, and we just saw this purple flame consuming their bodies. So clearly, this woman Aya, she is definitely not to be messed with. And so we also learned that the reason that Kojo had passed out at the end of last week's episode, it was because Yuma, she didn't eat anything, so he collapsed of hunger. So I thought, something serious happened, but it turns out that Kojo, he was just hungry and needed to eat. So of course, they got him food, and we get an update on Yuma, and we see that she's fine and her life is in no immediate danger. But without that Blue Knight protecting her because of the magic, there's still a chance that she could die, because a witch contract is still very complicated. That they don't have the resources or the technology to like really understand and study it. But we see her now, and it seems like she's in a coma. But at least now we know that she's okay. And so of course now they're wondering about Natsuki, because she's like the key in this, and we got to make sure that she's safe. But we actually have Yukina. She actually spots Asagi on TV, and we see that she with the little kid who we all know is Natsuki. So that right there goes to show you that the person that they're looking for, they already know where she is. And so we have Kojo here talking to Asagi on the phone, and they were talking about Natsuki. I'm pretty sure they want to have her come to her house. Come to his house. But before that could happen, they were actually attacked by one of the inmates, and this guy name was Kilika Gilika, and this guy had a fire spirit inside of him so that he could kill more effectively. But a few years ago, he had performed a terrorist act, and that right there got him sent to the prison district. But now that he has Natsuki, he's actually chasing them. But we have Asagi here. She comes up with like this brilliant plan, because we see that she like takes Natsuki to her job, because I do believe that was where she had worked at. But when he led the guy there, she first used the steel door or gate to block him off. But he clearly melted through that. And then we have her causing the flood to happen, and I thought that right there might work. I'm pretty sure this guy was get out of it eventually, but he did get out of it rather quickly, because once Asagi was back on land and now underground, this guy quickly caught up to them. But luckily, she had a Shrate there with these guards, and they quickly took this guy out. It's like without that spirit, this guy was just a regular person. So once Astrate had absorbed that fire spirit, this guy was nothing to worry about. And I do believe that when the spirit left him, I do believe that it kind of like burned his body a bit, because he did look a bit darker. But that might have been the animation. So I'm not sure if that was it or what. But now that he's gone, we have this new threat that we have to deal with, and her name is kind of weird. But Asagi actually knows her as the diva of Kurata's theater, and we see that she has this familiar in the form of a whip, and when she uses it, it like attaches people and it puts them under mind control, because we see that when Astrate was actually going to deal with her, she used this whip on these guards. And these guards here, they are like always watching this area, which is why Asagi first led that guy there, because they're on constant watch. So these guys are definitely top soldiers, but they were easily controlled though by Astrate. And even though she didn't fight back, she just stood there getting shot at. And I do know that homunculus, it doesn't have like a bulky body, and it does protect her, but she still takes some damage. It's not like she's invincible, so she was still gonna kind of hurt. But then we have what's his name, Dimitrie or Walter. When he came, that fight right there with him and the diva, that right there was freaking awesome because we see that this diva, she actually coming from this tribe that I'm guessing that was somehow related to the third progenitor or sort of under him. And it seems that she can use some of that progenitor abilities because we saw that she like made these swarm of like bugs, and I'm not sure if that was like out of magic or her own blood, but I'm gonna take a stab here and say they were possibly out of her own blood. But then we go back to Kojo, who after like got off the phone with Asagi, who been chased by that guy. We see that him, Sayaka, and Yukina, they were all trying to get to them. And when that little tank thing that Sayaka had broke down, we actually have Yukina, stealing a bite for him. And it was so funny that when Yukina cut her finger so that Kojo could have some blood in his system, Sayaka got so jealous, but that part was hilarious. But now that we see he like ready for battle because his eye changed and he quickly heads off, to go to Asagi. So now we have this fight between the diva and Walter. And we see that like that Walter here, he easily takes out all these guards with like this gigantic snake. But we learn that not only can this diva control people, but she can also control familiars as well. And we see that like Walter had this ace up his sleeve, and this is the first time that he ever had to bring it out. So he was actually grateful to the diva for like pushing him this far, because now we see that these snakes, there was like they're kind of like multiplying like rabbits, but they easily swarm on this woman and it just start tearing her apart. It was so gruesome that Asagi had to block Natsuki's eyes so that she wouldn't see this. But we just see, once they were done with her, she was clearly messed up, and and no change on her activated. But then we have this one guy, I believe his name was Mega or Miga. We have him walking through the school, and we just see all of like these magical symbols on the walls and everywhere. And we see that once he gets to the roof, he actually talks to Aya. And we learn that Aya definitely knows a lot more than she told the other inmates. And this guy, he's pretty smart. Even though he said that he's a failed attack mage, this guy, he definitely has brains because he figured out so many things. We learned that, of course, because Aya took away Natsuki memories, she also absorbed all the powers as well, which includes this like program for the prison districts. And Aya, she did not have the handcuff that we saw on the other prisoners. So that right there goes to show you that she already used that to free herself. So let's say Aya gets defeated, she will not get sent back to the prison like the other people will. And she thought that this Mega guy was actually here, to take her on, or get a piece of that program so that he could be free. But he just came there, to see her experiment because he thought that it could be beneficial to her. To him as well. But I definitely think that this guy, he is definitely gonna try something, but I don't know what it is. Like maybe he'll get Aya to like let down her guard, which I highly doubt. But at the same time, it could happen. Because we saw at one point, she even pulled out, her Black Knight. So it's possible that, before this guy even, betray her, he'll be dead. But I definitely wonder, what is he planning here? Because clearly, he is definitely up to something. But at the end, after Walter had defeated that diva, Kojo finally came. And we see that, Walter, even though he kind of saved the day, he did go a little too far. But when he recognizes that this right here is Natsuki, or the Witch of the Void, he actually wants to bring her onto his boat because he knows that the prisoners, they are going to come after her, and and he always wants to fight these strong opponents. So not only can he get that, but he can also see Natsuki in this rather pathetic form, because we all know that she would clearly never allow herself to be in that kind of situation. But now we have Kojo as well there. And we see that the plan actually might work with them going onto this boat, and this could be the way that Kojo will let Nasagi actually know that he is a vampire and he is the fourth progenitor, because he was saying that he was willing to fight Walter to protect them, even if it meant revealing that secret. And we see that like Walter already knows that like Kojo is hurt, so I do wonder like how did he know that? Like maybe he could sense it or something. but now it would seem that they're all going on this boat. And I actually do want to see more Volter. I don't know why, but this guy, it's just so epic right now. He seems really OP. Like, I'll be honest here, Volter seems stronger than Kojo at this point. Because we see Kojo always get hurt and basically, you know, one-shotted, but then he comes back and do work. But we see Volter here, he only got taken out one time, but that right there was because he was actually going up whatever was in Kojo's sister's body. So that right there is an exception. But we have seen Kojo time and time again, you know, kind of get beat down. But, you know, he does come back stronger and then he wins. So I will say that at this point, Volter might be stronger than Kojo. But at the beginning of the episode, we have Yuma waking up. And I'm not sure right there, I'm not sure, you know, if that means something or what. But I'm definitely curious about it. Oh, and then we have Aya. She actually said that this grimoire that everybody wanted, it was destroyed, you know, a long time ago. But because Natsuki, you know, had the memories of it, she can actually still use the spell and curses from that. And so she basically turned the school that they all go to into one giant grimoire. And that right there was just freaking epic. And they also, you know, heard her saying, you know, in the beginning of the episode that this town here, it shares a lot of memories with her and Natsuki. And I'm not sure if she was saying that because they actually do have like a real past together, or it was because she took her memories. But I do wonder if we'll get a flashback of those two, if they really knew each other back then in the day. But overall, this episode, it was amazing. We saw some awesome new characters, and we have Volter, you know, going in and doing work. It was just pretty freaking epic. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.